Okay, when you lose them in customs, though, don't they track who sent them and
Yeah, but
start getting busted?
back then, the tracking wasn't the same as it was now. If you wanted to track a package, you had to call 1-800-GO FedEx and give them a tracking number. There was no IP addresses to track. As long as you had a fake ID when you went and dropped it off at like a mailbox place, right? Like you're cool. And then what I was doing is down by the 10 freeway in Robertson back then was the FedEx office. And people used to be standing there at 5 o'clock, line out the block, standing there with their FedExes trying to make the cutoff. So I was literally copying their account numbers down so I wouldn't even need an ID or pay cash, right? Like anymore. I would just charge the FedEx account number. So that's how we were getting the accounts. Literally, I'd go there with a FedEx envelope, act like I'm filling out my own thing, and I'm literally copying 4 or 5 numbers a few times a week. And then after a while, I'm sending just people down there to do it, right? So we ended up with big companies. Some of them actually ended up testifying against me because they called them in to say, hey, you're so-and-so company, like we'd gotten Sony's thing. We'd gotten Ubisoft, big companies. And some of them actually came in to testify that they didn't actually send drugs. It must have been us, right? And anyway, but I was still missing one critical piece, and that was customs and duties. Because now that I'm sending bigger amounts, 5s and 10s at a time, you're spending $300-400 to send 10, 20 pounds overnight, and you're putting 0 customs value. Because I had no idea of international shipping at that time. Anyway, 0 customs value, and Her Majesty's Customs and Excise is looking in the box going, what would you spend $400 to ship overnight that weighs 20 fucking pounds that it has no value to us? Whatever you put on the customs declaration, right? And anyway, so on a Monday, some guys show up at my place, in bed with my fiance, and to remind me that I owe $600,000 on a Friday. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to have it. Take me to see the dude right now. So anyway, they take me, and I'm worried. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to tell this motherfucker my business. He's going to want a piece of the action. Like, this is what I'm worried about.
Okay, so who is this connect that's providing you all the cocaine at that point? You owe the $600,000.
Well, I call him Carlos always in podcasts, but I'm never shared his real.
Okay, this was the cartel?
He's not, but he was getting it from them.
From which cartel?
Sinaloa.
Sinaloa, so the Mexican cartel.
Yeah.
So this is the go-between between you and the Sinaloa cartel.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at the time. It wasn't until much later that I understood that, right? Like, but, okay. Yeah, I just don't want to give the wrong impression like I thought like I had a cartel connection, because I never actually, later on, I tried to eliminate the middlemen by paying them to introduce me directly, because I had other ideas for bigger quantities that I wanted to talk to them about, and I could never actually get them. So just want to be clear about that and not misrepresent it. Also, I should say at this point, I never worked with Pablo Escobar, and I've lost more fights than I've won, just to be clear.
Okay. Okay, so now you're being taken to the guy that you owe $600,000 to in cocaine.
And this is the guy that I knew from before that Simon had introduced.
Okay, so you have a relationship with him.
And he's known me for years, right? And he's like, hey, what's going on? Are you getting ripped off? This, that, the other thing, right? Like, he's trying to help me. And because I'm there early, which is unusual. Most people are on the run or in the wind. They have to track them down. And he's like, are you getting ripped off? Is somebody putting the arm on you? I'll help you out. What's going on? Just tell me who, and we'll go take care of it. I was like, no, it's not like that. And then I tell him what's going on. And instead of him being excited and wanting a piece of my business, he gets fucking mad. He's like, you're double fronting my shit outside the fucking country on FedEx? Like, what the fuck? You owe $600,000. How the fuck are you going to pay that? And I was like, well, he's like, what am I supposed to do here? And I was like, well, give me 10 more.
10 more bricks.
Yeah, and he fucking smacked me. And this was the first moment that I thought, oh, this might not work out, Anyway, he leaves the room, and I'm like really sitting there sweating. I'm thinking like at any minute somebody's gonna walk up behind me and put a gun to my head, and that's that, right? Like, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, because up until that moment, I'd never considered that it wasn't gonna go good, because I'd never found myself in a situation that I couldn't get myself out of in my life to that point. Anyway, he comes back in the room about several minutes later. He's got an Adidas bag, zipper bag, and he sits down and he's like, Louis, you have a good face. You didn't make me come find you. I've known you for a long time. Do not ship my shit overseas. You bring back every penny that you sell this for. We're going to get you a discount, and we're going to cut out money for your monthly expenses for living, and you're going to work this off. And I was like, okay. And now there's no cell phone then. I don't have a wallet. I didn't have anything on me. I literally put on my pants and walked out the door. So I got this bag, right? And I'm thinking it's 10. Anyway, I'm outside in the middle of fucking Silver Lake back then, which isn't like Silver Lake now, right? It's not a good area. Wasn't a great area back then, right? Anyway, I'm in the middle there, and I've got this bag, and I fucking, for the first time I look inside when I'm outside, and it's got 20 of them in it, not 10.
20 kilos.
Yeah, and I call my friend, Collect, to tell him, hey, I'm coming. I need money for a taxi. Meet me, at my place. So he's like, oh, bro, $20 for a taxi was like, we were tight because we'd lost a lot of money. I was like, bro, I'm just telling you. Like, okay, I'll be there. So he meets me there, taxi, pays the taxi. We go upstairs. I show him, and he's like, okay, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to send him.
Overseas?
Like, yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
After being told not to.
He's like, you're fucking crazy, man. You're going to fucking die. This isn't a game. These people are serious. What the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, I got in a huge fight. I send 10, and I lose them.
Really?
Anyway, I break off a corner of one of the 10 that's left. I sell it right away, put food in the fridge, pay a couple bills just to give myself some space for a few days to figure out how I'm going to avoid dying. Okay. Right? And buy a bag of weed. And, just fucking getting stoned, eating candy, drinking fucking soda. And, had my girlfriend go home. Didn't want anybody around me. I just, it was just a weird thing. I just wanted space, and there was while these guys were going to be at me next week for whatever I'd sold, there was no immediate pressing issue on me. And so, of course I was super productive. I smoked weed and ate candy bars. Anyway, it hits me. I'm watching fucking TV, wake up, watching TV, all crazy hours of the night, 3 in the fucking morning. And it hits me like a bolt of lightning. There's a box, and I'd seen this box on the FedEx form that says charge taxes to FedEx account number. Okay. So I wouldn't even have to pay the taxes. So I go the very next morning, I put the 9 3/4 in a box. I send FedEx, and I put charge taxes to FedEx account number, and I declare the value. I think it was like $400 or $500 I put, right? Mm-hmm. Sailed right through. Anyway, I fly over the sails right through. I fly over there. I get paid. I smuggle the money, smuggle the money back. That's how it started.
Okay, so 10 kilos, how much you make off that?
Oh, I made 22,000 pounds apiece. Smuggled the money to Amsterdam. Buy pills. Ended up getting almost 250,000 pills. All these numbers change later, so I want to be accurate. Get almost 250,000 pills and send them back same way. They all land. I sell about half of them right away. Back then they were going for about $7 a piece wholesale. I sell about half of them right away. And instead of taking the 900 G's that I owe the dude back, I buy $600,000 worth of coke from one of their competitors. I buy 40 more keys. I ship those, they all make it. And that's how I went from down 900 G's to up $3 million in 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
And then kind of never looked back.
Okay, so you pay back your connect.
Yeah.
Had you not paid him back, let's just say that next shipment got lost. Bullet in the head?
I think it was going to be, yeah. I don't think it was going to be good. But I was so sure when the tax thing hit me, because it was the only thing that made sense why I'd gotten the smaller packages through in the beginning and all the bigger packages later didn't go through. Right? Like, remember, there's no internet to research this shit. So all you have is the data from your own experiences. Right? Like, and I didn't have a background in shipping. I didn't have a friend who was a freight forwarder. I didn't have any of that stuff at that time. Later on, we got guys who worked at FedEx. We had people inside. We knew, we had warnings, all kinds. Once you have money, you're able to expand your connection base, relatively easily. But at that point, it was the only thing that made sense to me. And I was just sure that they're going to get their tax money and they're going to leave my box alone. And that's exactly what happened. And we never lost cocaine again for 2.5 years after that.
So how much cocaine did you ship through FedEx for 2.5 years?
Well, according to the government, it was 2 to 3 tons.
2 to 3 tons of cocaine.
But it was
through
much
FedEx,
less.
just
So
regular
that's
boxes?
government numbers.
Okay.
That's government numbers. Yeah, because then you start, you're putting 20 in a box, and then you're putting 3 boxes per air bill.
Huh.
Right? So we were doing the same thing. And as long as we were using FedEx to come back for pills, we were doing the same thing also. You're sending pills back, 60,000 pills or 40,000 pills in a box, and you're putting 3 boxes per air bill, like it was just sailing through. Because we had accounts. We weren't using mailbox, etc.
Huh.
Right?